John, write this up.
Hey, we're being recorded right now, so you gotta be on your best behavior. Right? CPS would be called.
Call him.
Say hi, buddy. Say hi, Mike. Hi, Nick. Hi, Mike. Say everything. You wanted to be on here. Now you're gonna go shy. You're gonna go all shy.
Hey there, buddy.
That's Nick.
Hiya, Georgie.
Hiya, Georgie.
You want a balloon?
We all float down here, Georgie.
Oh, thanks for scaring my kid. Thanks, guys.
Welcome on, Nick Taylor.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone.
And we got Mike Wells is at home with a sick kid. So
Yeah.
Mikey.
Yeah. And then apparently my kids decided to play with Spider-Man. That makes a lot of noise as soon as we start recording.
right, because that's what sick kids do.
Yeah. Kids are considerate. We all know that.
Oh, of course. Yeah. How was the first Christmas with the newborn?
It was good. I mean, they don't remember it. It was more exciting. This is probably the first Christmas he'll remember, which was nice.
Right.
So
I noticed you said they don't remember.
yeah.
Have we already made that decision for the young one?
I was just a figure. Shut the fuck up. I gotta watch my language because I told you he cursed at daycare.
Yeah, we heard him say a bad word earlier.
Before we hit record, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, at that age when they don't remember, so do you just give them someone else's gift to open for the photo and then because you don't have to get them anything, right?
I mean, I got him a big screen TV.
Okay, there you go. Got him a PlayStation and a Call of Duty.
Nice. Yeah.
I got him.
Right.
I got him hope.
Got
I
him
got him
orthopedic inserts for your shoes.
Like, why does he have a credit card bill? He
got the MLB package for next year already.
No, it was a good Christmas though for the most part. So yeah, what about your guys's?
Not too bad. We went up to my grandma's for the weekend right before, because Christmas was in the middle of the week. Did a whole family thing there, and then just chilled here day of. Nothing all that special. Vander?
Christmas was such a long time ago, I hardly remember it.
Felt Nick.
Our trees are still up. We're not letting go.
I just took mine down yesterday.
We took ours down yesterday.
Honest to God, I'm the guy that puts up Christmas lights on the house, which is really weird. But our tree is still up for whatever reason.
We've always left mine up just because my birthday is right after Christmas. We've always left mine up till after my birthday, and then usually that was the marker to take them down.
Yeah.
So
I was a little bit of a bummer because we put our lights up late. I really like I like Christmas lights outside. I really am into it, and we put them up a little late, so I left them up a little longer. And now, but yeah, I mean, Christmas was cool.
I saw a thing online around that time that said like Christmas decorations are not meant to be subtle. It's meant to feel like you've been vomited on by joy.
Yeah.
And I felt that. I really, if you're going to decorate for Christmas, go big or go home.
Have you guys seen any of the people that do the cars?
Oh, dude, that's stupid.
Yeah, there are people that there's Christmas lights lining their entire vehicle.
No.
I saw the Grinch mobile.
I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened in New Jersey last month. Was just not really like drones, just people.
Hey.
The buddy I work with does the thing with his house where he like has like the LEDs and the projector and does like a whole musical, like the people who like sing it to like Trans-Siberian and stuff like that. Wow. He gets really into it every year.
The one where you have to like tune into a radio station when you're driving by that house.
He did that this year for the first time. Got like a shortwave transmitter and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
It's wild.
Well, it's weird. That's because like as like kids growing up, we never did lights because my dad was in a wheelchair, so he couldn't stand and put them up. And so I've decided,
So that's how wheelchairs work.
You just like using it.
He can't float either. So I decided to do it, and my wife hates it. She's like, it's just so like she's never been like Melissa's never been like that. But this year, taking the lights down, because we're about to have that snowstorm. I'm like, I'm not fucking taking all this shit off after the snowstorm.
Yeah.
So like, what happened was I go to take off the lights, and like some of the lights are actually frozen in my gutter, like the damn like they just froze, like the wiring just froze. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna cut this. Like so, like there's still like some lights on top of my house in the gutter that are just frozen there. I just fucking
Word.
scored $30 worth of lights because I'm like, I'm done. I'm just getting more. Screw it. I'm not.
Hit big lots next November. You'll get more.
How long and how late in the year do you leave them up to the point where you're like, just next year's, we're ready for next year?
I think it's I think once you hit July.
Yeah, I think
yeah, that's where the Christmas in July thing comes from. Is I think somebody was just like, I lift them up how long? It's new holiday tradition.
Kind of a funny bit to just light up the house every night for the whole year.
Yeah, you've heard about those July 4th trees, haven't you? You put them and then you put oil underneath them and then you attack that tree.
You can help us grow our channel, upgrade our gear, and eventually hire an editor by joining our Patreon for only $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/the3mics or follow the link in the description. We like to talk to our guests a little bit when we have them on. So, you were from here and then you left and then you came back.
Yeah, I'm from Dayton, grew up here. I've moved around a little bit. I went out to the West Coast. I was out in San Diego, California for like 7 years. And then I came, I know it was a while. And then I came back to Dayton. And then I also have lived in New York for 3 years.
Okay.
So I'm from here, but I spent about 10 years not here.
Was it all doing comedy or was it just
no, the California was just out of high school. I did a little bit of like community college out there. It wasn't like a move for school, but I had some buddies out there and I visited there when I was young and I was like, this place rules. I want to go live by the beach for a little bit. And I ended up staying there for quite a while. And then New York was strictly for comedy.
Right on.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Okay, what was more expensive, East Coast or West Coast?
Wait, say it again.
What was more expensive, East Coast or West?
Man, I think it's probably they're so close. I think they're probably pretty similar, to be honest. Like, but I do know that when I was in California, I mean, this was a while ago too, and it was already pretty pricey. So I guess it just depends on where you're at. But I don't know, maybe some of the most expensive parts of Los Angeles, like in regards to renting an apartment, is probably up there with the priciest parts of Manhattan.
Big thing. Did you start the fires in California?
Yeah, I mean, after years of taking all my rent money, you got to do something to make yourself feel good, you know.
Did you see where somebody grounded one of the planes that was like one of the fire rescue planes with a drone? They were like flying around getting drone footage and it like put a hole in the wing of one of the planes.
No.
Yeah, one of the planes was probably dropping the water. Somebody was getting drone footage and punched. Yeah.
Got a sick picture though.
Was there somebody flying that plane?
It was one of the people like flying the drone.
Did they die?
Plane. No, they were able to land the plane. They're lucky they didn't crash, but like they had to like emergency. They didn't get to drop their payload. Like they were en route to go put some fires out, and they were like, "Hey, an asshole with a drone put a hole in the wing."
I thought payload was only a video game term.
Drop the payload in her vagina.
Yeah, there you go.
Is the drone flyer in prison?
I don't think they've found out who it was yet.
All right.
Because I mean, I would imagine the drone got destroyed in the process. So
actually, it survived. It was a Honda.
Man, to take out a plane with a drone, that's just.
Can you imagine if drones did 9/11?
It would have taken a while.
I guess somebody tried to fly a drone into the Twin Towers.
Looks like I watched that Christopher Reeve documentary, and it talks about how he used to go flying in these gliders they're like planes, but like they don't have like propellers or engines. They just like, or they have propellers, but they're basically just like once they start going, they just go and then you just go till they run out of steam, and you just land where you land. And yeah, I felt the futon jiggle a little bit too.
Yeah. I can feel it continuing to jiggle.
And I'm going to stand up off this futon now.
Wait, these planes you're talking about, is this the kind that have like people are in them?
Yeah, it's like you get like a person or two, like two people tops, and they're like the kind you like that they use like nowadays, like stealth missions, because they're like so quiet, and the whole thing is that you like they've got, you just ride them off like it's almost like base jumping in a glider. And the idea is that you take it down and just ride it until
they make no sound at all.
Yeah. There was a whole thing like Christopher Reeve, like when he was making the first Superman movie, would get in so much trouble because they were like, we have insurance on you to play Superman. If you fucking go off and die in one of these things, man, case in point, what happens later on down the road with him. But
man, a smaller airplane, I don't know about you guys, but are you guys scared of flying at all?
I hate to fly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like it, but I'm not scared of it. I'm not fucking pussy.
Oh no, it's like I hate flying, but I'll go skydiving. It's weird.
I was scared of flying when I was younger, and then I outgrew that fear, and then it's coming back. Like my fears are coming back into my life now. I think I'm just getting older.
Well, I mean
it's manifested anxiety.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have kids?
I don't.
I was gonna say maybe if you had kids, maybe that's like just part of it. If you don't have kids, then
way to completely invalidate his fear.
Well,
you don't have kids. Why are you
fucking
scared?
Coward, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
If we crash, no one's hurt. Everything's fine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
No one's. Yeah. I don't have.
Your life is only valuable if you have kids.
Exactly.
It's really not.
183 people died on that airplane, but none of them had kids. Oh, who cares?
It doesn't even make the news.
Fine.
It's like it doesn't even make it. It's just like a fucking short TikTok video they do on that. 103 people die in a plane crash. Anyways, watch these seals jump into the ocean.
There's just a fucking filter on the planes. It looks like a dog as it lands.
Yeah, and then when it misses, it just explodes like the dog. Anyways, it's weird.
Next, just some Sabrina Carpenter song comes on during the explosion. Just
Who the hell
espresso
is that
starts
person?
playing.
Is she like popular now or something?
I guess I don't know.
Just TikTok popular.
Yeah, I think she was. Well, I think she was opening for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, that was
Sabrina was.
Yeah.
I thought that was Grace.
I thought she was
Gracie
teenage
Abrams.
witch.
She might have a couple different openers, but
That's a good point. Yeah,
she might have a couple different. But I did hear
And
that.
she had some like Christmas variety show special on Netflix that people really liked. I didn't see it, but like I know like the people from like Abbott Elementary were on there. I think there were some big names on there. So it was supposed to be really funny. I don't know. I never seen anything she's been in or listened to anything.
I've heard some of her songs. It's catchy.
You don't get to have that big of a following and have nothing of value.
Right.
I mean, like
I feel like it just took Taylor Swift taking her on tour. Like,
yeah,
that could go for any artist. Like,
well, remember when Rihanna did that for that up and comer Paul McCartney all those years ago? It's the dumbest thing ever.
Oh god!
Oh, like when Nelly put Tim McGraw on the map.
Like this, I watched some video the other day. It was all these like musicians playing like a medley of the Game of Thrones theme on guitars, and then fucking Brad Paisley. It's like the guy from like Anthrax and Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, and then Brad Paisley comes in.
Brad Paisley shreds, dude.
He shredded the fuck out of it.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He
You
is.
Game of Thrones guy at all?
No,
Never?
not that I wouldn't be, but I've never seen it. It sounds like something that I would absolutely love. It's like, what is it, like dragons and fighting?
Dragons, like how that high fantasy, like hell yeah.
I could binge. I just haven't gotten to it. But
this guy,
dude, it's like it's the show. It develops the dragons, like it's the beginning of dragons, and also like the beginning of zombies at the same time. It's wild.
What?
It's like a world that's never like seen them before. It's
a lot of tits.
So much, dude. Especially in the first couple seasons, so many, a lot of dicks too.
Oh, I'm back.
Yeah, that's usually what brings them back in.
A lot of wieners.
Yeah.
Is it completely? Is it over with the show?
Yeah.
Oh, it's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could binge it at whatever rate I wanted.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, I'm into that.
Spinoffs though, you want to be caught up by the next spinoff.
I'm sure he would. It's taking fucking forever to make.
What's the next? There's already something else coming out.
They're 2 seasons deep on one spinoff, and the next season probably won't be until 2026.
Yeah,
and then a third spinoff is starting later this summer.
Is there another show coming?
Yeah, Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh my god, I don't even know what that is.
Dunk and Egg? You don't know?
This is why I have you.
You're supposed to be so much nerdier than me.
I know. This is the one thing you have me beat on. Is this? I've got you beat on everything. Are you nerdy, Nick?
I'm sure I am. Yeah. I mean,
That's a lie.
Follow the Dayton comedy scene on social media at Gem City Comedy or learn more at www.gemcitycomedy.com. While Vander's doing a phone call, we started talking to Nick. We should probably talk to Nick some more since he's here. So you said you went to New York for a little bit to do comedy. What got you? What was the initial leap into comedy? I'm assuming because that was here in Dayton.
Yeah, the initial leap, man. I went to a stand-up comedy show at the Dayton Funny Bone when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
And immediately, like, I had seen comedy on television, and that was it. You know, it was like the Kings of Comedy and the Blue Collar Comedy Tour and Kevin White. Like, that's all I knew. Cat Williams. Mm-hmm. But I just fell in love. I was already a fan of comedy, but I had never seen it at a local level. And went to the Funny Bone and immediately went home and started writing jokes. But the truth is that I did not pursue it until 8 years later. So, but that was it. I mean, I just loved it. I just had never, I needed to see it in person. And also it was like, you know, I don't know who the comics were at the time, but it was like whoever was here before all of us. Like, I didn't recognize anyone even to this day, but it was locals.
It wasn't anybody like who's still around at all that you would recognize?
One guy that no one that I recognize now that's around, but one guy that I do know, and Mike Wells, I don't know if this name sounds familiar to you, but there's a guy named Ben Lyons.
Yes, Ben. Yeah.
That name sounds familiar to me.
Ben's been doing it forever.
Yeah, so I'm good, buddy. Thank you, though. I don't personally know him, but I went to school with his brother. So I was at that show that night with that dude's family.
Oh, wow.
His younger brother, just a guy that was just a buddy of mine from growing up.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that was it, man. Just being a fan. And then, you know, once you start doing it, it's the best. It's the funnest. You're out late. You're just talking shit. And I think that was really it. But it just took to me seeing it live. But then, you know, you don't figure out how to do comedy and what it takes to do it, you know, for, you know, quite some time. At least for me, like you see some people get into it and they kind of whatever they learned. I think the newer generation maybe is kind of getting a little bit more of a spoon fed. They're hearing all this stuff on podcasts and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not that they just start TikTok channels.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, because I mean, when I started, I've been doing this for like 8 years now. Mm-hmm. When I started, like, I think even like people were obviously putting clips up, you know, maybe when I had started doing it, but this whole wave of like constant content going out there, I feel like started like 5 years ago or something?
Very recently, especially during the pandemic. That's when it got really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
People were really starting to like pick up on it, like being a thing.
Yeah.
And then COVID kind of forced it. I think COVID also forced the technology to get in gear. Because like even like what we're using right now to record this thing with Wells, like this was barely a thing when COVID hit.
That's fair.
But then because it became such a necessary commodity, they got the influx of income. Now they're huge. So yeah, like with that, you know, CapCut and stuff like that. Like,
do you guys remember when COVID started and everything was shut down and we were going on that app called Discord?
I'm the one who set that server up.
Mike set that up.
Shout out to you, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time period where it was like I would do the one that you set up, and then Cincinnati had a version of it.
Yeah, and they still do theirs.
What?
They still have both servers are still up. Cincy still uses theirs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just remember sitting in the basement just running jokes via
Neil Griffin and like one of the
phone calls.
Yeah. Oof. It was not a good time.
That was before I got into it, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that you guys
remember
were doing that.
Yeah. I got in there the day I got married. You guys were doing one, and I got in the Discord real fast.
Hilarious.
Yeah, me and Dusty were talking about it. Like, we just need he and I were the only ones that knew anything about Discord. So like we just threw something together to we didn't know what else to do. You know, and that was the first, like, people were starting to hear about like virtual open mics, and we were like, all right, fuck it.
Yeah. And then I had moved to New York towards the end of the pandemic. It was still very much a thing. But like, so there were still a lot of venues and whatnot that were closed down. So in New York, it's like comedy never stopped fully. Like we were doing mics in parks to each other.
Oh yeah.
It was just comics would gather at a park. Someone would bring a portable speaker and a microphone, and we were just doing little 5-minute, just still working on jokes.
Once the weather got nice around here is when a lot of the parking lot and sidewalk and outdoor shows and stuff really started, especially the one over there by Feathers.
Yeah.
Oh.
What a time. But I mean, here in the Midwest, we didn't have to close down for nearly as long as some of these other bigger cities.
No, I mean, Ohio, that was one of the things I will say DeWine kept pretty tight with COVID restrictions here, but we still opened up a lot sooner than other places did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine said he was on a flight recently, and DeWine was like just sitting in the back of the plane with, with the peasants. He was like, he's short. And I'm like, yeah, you could tell by his head, dude.
Yeah, that's not a podium you stand. They had to make that. They didn't. They had to have that one customized. It's a tiny little man.
DeWine could fit an overhead bed. Like literally could fit an overhead bed.
Yeah.
Like, sure,
he was just a carry-on.
the Oompa Loompa plane's over there. I don't know why.
You can help us grow our channel, upgrade our gear, and eventually hire an editor by joining our Patreon for only $5 a month. Go to patreon.com/the3mics or follow the link in the description. Miles is just in it.
I'm going to have to get off here in a minute.
Very good, dude.
All right, Mikey.
But no, it. Discord, dude, did you just fart?
On your shoulder?
I think you did. You stink.
I stink.
You do.
You want kids?
Nope.
Yeah, this will make you not want kids.
Yeah. I mean,
too late.
He's adorable, but
yeah, until he says the N word.
Stop.
That'll be the funniest day ever.
Stop teaching it to him right now. And now he's going to go, Dad.
Did I tell you about the Black Spider-Man thing?
Yeah, I remember you.
Oh
yeah. Tell Nick. I don't think Nick knows this story.
I don't know, and I would like to.
So he's really into Spider-Man right now, and there's this cartoon called Spidey and Friends, which has like Peter Parker, who's the red Spider-Man. You have Miles Morales, who's a black Spider-Man and also black, and then you have Gwen, who's Ghost Spider-Man, who's white. So he was sitting there, and all of a sudden, Daddy, I'm red Spider-Man. You're black Spider-Man. No, wait, I can't remember what it said. And Mommy's white Spider-Man. And my wife thinking, why did he call the kid black Spider-Man? How does he know the kid's black? Like, why is he saying that? And I'm like, Melissa, the suit's black. She's like, holy shit.
She just assumed your kid was racist.
Yeah. Like,
is Black Spider-Man a good guy? Because there's Venom too, who's a black suit, right?
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
but you're saying Black Spider-Man is a black kid?
He's literally just a black kid who's Spider-Man.
Okay, very cool.
But he's also a black suit, so Melissa thought we were teaching.
Fitting.
And yet he's the one that J. Jonah Jameson doesn't have a problem with.
Jesus.
I don't get the reference.
No, you don't.
I didn't get it either, but
it's fine. It was just for me and Wells.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, well, we're not done yet.
Oh.
No, this is he usually.
Nick's like, is it time for me to go yet? Nah, son, stick around.
So what eventually took you, like, because you said you went to New York to do the comedy thing for a while. Yeah. What was it that was like, what made you go, okay, it's time for me to go actually like give the New York thing a try?
I don't think there was a thing that necessarily was like, I didn't like achieve a thing that was like, okay, this is the next step. I think I just knew of, you hear in New York, you hear that, it's just so much stage time. Mm-hmm. That was it for the most part. I just knew that there was so much stand-up comedy that was happening there that like, if as long as you're not wasting your time and you're getting on stage a lot more, because like it's just at that point too, it's just a numbers game. It's like, okay, well, if I'm getting on stage, whatever, 4 times a week here, I can do it double there easily. Right. So it was purely just I want to go there. It's kind of like hitting the gym, I guess. It's like I want to go there and just get more reps in. And also I like chaos. So like New York is just insane. Have you guys been there?
No, I haven't. No.
Never been.
I've heard stories.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people any big city you've ever been to, just multiply that by 1 million. I mean, it's just chaos.
When you're 3 years there, like how well did you know downtown New York?
I started to kind of get a good grasp of how to get around. So like it was kind of cool too, because like for the first year and a half I was there, I took the train, the subway everywhere. We had one vehicle. I was there with my wife. She always got dibs on the car because I didn't want her to be on the subway by herself.
Yeah.
So I was taking the subway everywhere. So I did kind of get a good grasp of how to get around. And that kind of makes you feel like you're part of the city. You know what I mean? You're just bopping around on the subway. There's homeless people pleasuring themselves. There's rats watching, and there's and
specifically watching the guy jerk off.
Yeah, they're like, how is he grosser than me?
Faster.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Rats masturbating.
Cheese at him.
Yeah, they're giving him cheese. Oh, dude, one of my favorite things to do was like go out and do, whatever I'm doing mics, or if I'm getting some spots on the way home that night. It's like just like a pure New Yorker. It's like get a slice of pizza and I would eat it going into the subway, and then I would look for rats in the subway to feed the crust to. And that was for me.
So you looked for turtles.
Yeah, looking for the subway turtles.
Well, then what brought you back?
The cost of living. It was just fair. I mean, it was so ridiculous. So when we first got there, well, one more thing to go back to what I was saying was like I did get to like learn how to navigate the subway system, but then after a year and a half of being there, and I'm just a dumb guy. I never thought of this, but like my wife a lot of the time would get home from work before I would have to head out for the night. So then I just started driving, and then I got to learn how to navigate the streets of New York, and I drove a lot. So I kind of get to do a little bit of both worlds. So yeah, I mean, as confusing as the city is, I got to learn it somewhat, and that felt good.
That's cool. There's something about learning a new city. Like when you go to visit for travel, you kind of don't make a habit of committing too much to memory because you're like, whatever, I'm leaving in 5 days. But when you're there to live, there is I don't know, like something exciting about like, all right, I'm going to learn how the fuck this place works.
Yeah. And then also, I guess maybe, there's an aspect of I don't have to sit here and stare at a GPS this entire time. I can kind of, pay attention to the road, but also let my mind wander and look around my surroundings and whatnot. You ever go somewhere by GPS and you don't even really soak in at all where you just went? You just kind of get there because the phone told you what to do. Like there was a lot of times where I would go do mics even in Dayton, and I was like, I don't know. Like I still don't know 100% how to get to the Funny Bone on my own from where I live.
No, it's fair. Yeah. I will say, like, I like working downtown because it forces me to have to learn to navigate downtown on my own.
Yeah.
Because I've relied too much, especially because so many places, especially here in Dayton, we go so many different places to go do comedy. It's like, it's a lot of different routes to remember how to go. But if you're going to go there that often, it's worth it to figure out.
Yeah.
Because then that when somebody says, hey, where I'm trying to get to the mic. Where is it at? Oh, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Let me know when you find out.
I said you went there every Thursday. Every Thursday. Couldn't tell you how to get there.
There's part of me that's like, we could have made it work, but also you get to a certain point where you're just like, I don't want to live this uncomfortably. I want to have a little more freedom, but you get what you pay for. It's expensive, but I mean, New York rules. It's not, that's why I tell my family, they're like, I can't believe you sit there and pay that rent. It's like, yeah, well, I wasn't in Inglewood, Ohio. I was in New York City. Like you're getting more for what you're paying.
Yeah.
Would you say it's at least worth the money for the experience?
I think if you're going to go out and use the city for what it's worth and kind of go out and have fun and do, I think it's definitely worth it. I mean, it's crazy expensive, but I think it's worth it.
I've heard some people say, and I can't attest to any of this, but I've heard some people say, kind of to what Wells was mentioning earlier, West Coast versus East Coast, New York versus LA, is that it's kind of, you need to make it's harder out in LA because the cost of living itself is so much higher.
Yeah.
Like than it is in New York. Like New York, it's expensive to live there. But like the jobs are going to pay more. There's the jobs themselves. Right. There's a better economy there than in New York. In New York, you're going to struggle more to make ends meet. Whereas in New York, it's expensive, but you're going to make enough, but it's still expensive.
Yeah. And I think, those are two separate things. It's like, in my opinion, New York has so much to offer. There's so much going on and so much to do. And in Southern California, I mean, the weather is just, I mean, you live in paradise other than right now when the whole place is on fire, but it's so nice there that that it's good for your mental health to wake up and it's 75, 80 and sunny every day.